Hello, hello, welcome in. Hello, everyone, welcome in. How's everyone doing? Hi, Lauren. Let's see, let's share this out a little bit. I'm trying to think of who. Oh, Liz is here. Hi, Liz. Welcome in. Hey, Lisa. If everyone could tap the screen and share the live, I would appreciate it. How are you, Lisa? Angel, hello. Matt, hi. Matt, do I have to share it with Allie or does Allie know? And thank you, Matt, for being here. Oh, I just got a notification that I'm live. Thank you. Thank you for the pumpkins. I appreciate that. You want me to share it with Allie? I'll do it too. Oh, you're working. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. Paula, hello again. Fancy meeting you here. Katie, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, we reached the goal already. It's telling me I have to set a new goal. I know I forgot. I forgot, Matt. Thank you. I already did. I got Allie. I got her. Oh my God, thank you for the hat. Oh, you guys, you're amazing. Thank you. I have to set up a new goal. It's telling me. 1 second. I'll be right there. Oh my God, you guys are great. Thank you. Let's get these. We'll do some more pumpkins. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Of course, and thank you. Georgia, I appreciate you. I'm going to hook up the microphone. How's everyone doing tonight? Let's get this mic put in. Liz, thank you. Okay. Thank you. So tonight we have my friend Brian joining us and also Mark, my co-host. Is the sound okay? Checking the sound. Let me know if the mic's okay. Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. I just got word from Keith. Is it a little low? Okay. Let me read. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Is that better? Better. I just got word from Keith that the phones or the tablets are down. Is it good? Is it better now? Better? Okay. I got word from Keith that the tablets there are down right now. He's going to keep trying. It should be okay. It never stopped us before. We keep going. No, Brian's fine. Keith is in Pleasant Valley. Brian's good. Brian's good. I also got word from Tommy, not Tommy, our normal Tommy, who was friends with Brian, that everything's good there. Oh, no, we're good. No, we're not. Brian's going to be here. Trust me. We're good. It's Keith's. They're having issues there. I got this, Lisa. Yes. Let me get my tablet. So Manny's tablet is still working though. I don't, as far as Paulson, I don't know. He was able to message me. Yes, God bless Brian. So we have some new people joining us tonight. Brian's family and friends are going to be in here. I see Jamie's here. Brian's wife will be in here. Brian's sisters. We also have Mark will be calling in, the private investigator who worked on the case. He's absolutely amazing. He has spent so much time with me on the phones, helped me understand a lot. Justice for an innocent man, absolutely. 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 This case, and my regular girls know this, Brian has really touched me. This has worked on me since I first spoke to him. So we have a lot of people who will be listening. I will be streaming this, and I will have this. So when I end this live on TikTok, as a lot of people know and some people don't know, the lives do not stay on TikTok. They don't stay here. But I will be downloading it. And once I download it, I will upload it onto my YouTube channel, Charged with Change. But I did speak to Beth, and Liz, I will get in touch with you. I can also send it to you personally. I will email it to you, so you can share it to family members. But I do have my YouTube channel, Charged with Change. Hey, Coco. The link is in my on my link tree. Also, all of my lives, with every time I do these on Thursday nights, all of my lives are over on my YouTube channel, because you can't keep these on here. Nani is your friend. Oh, okay. Welcome, Nani. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for the roses. So I will have them uploaded onto my YouTube channel. I'm probably, oh, that's great, Coco. Probably Saturday, because it takes at least 3.5 hours to download it from here. Then I edit it. Then I have to upload it. So it does take time. And I do have this live tonight, and I also have a live tomorrow night with 2 other inmates from Donovan who are going to be speaking on ACEs. So I do have those lives tomorrow night. But this live will be on my YouTube channel by Saturday. And I will send a copy to Liz and to Beth, Brian's sister's friend. And thank you so much for getting Brian's story out there. You're so welcome. I'm telling you, Brian has touched me in so many ways. I've been so lucky to meet him, and I appreciate Beth and Liz for getting his story to me and everything he shared with me. I've been going over so much. Thank you, Beth. And Mark has helped me so much to understand, and everyone, my normal, everyone who's always in here, there's Beth. They heard so much about you, Beth and Liz. my girls know about you, how much you guys mean to me, like the little bit of time that I spoke to you via email. Here we go. Here comes Brian. He's amazing. This is Global Link. You have a prepaid call from Brian Koehl, an incarcerated individual at the Correctional Training Facility, Soledad, California. This call, yes, absolutely. You can. Monitored and recorded. You can. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, you can promote it. You can promote it, absolutely. Thank you for using Global Link. You sure can. Hey, Brian. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. We might need you to speak up a little louder. Okay, there you. That's much better. Yes. Okay. How are you? I'm good. I'm just nervous. Oh, don't be nervous. We're all family here. 1 second. I'm going to promote it. You'll probably have to manually. Oh, I got you. I got you. Thank you. Okay, I'll accept it. Don't be nervous. We're all family here. A lot of your family and friends are here. I see your sister's here and your wife is here, of course. They're all here. Don't be nervous at all. We're good. We're just waiting. Like I am. Mark's not here yet, and there's some tablet issues over at Keith is having some issues getting calls out. He said. So. Are we just now just you and I talking? Yeah. Well, we're live. We're live. I am live on. Yeah, I'm live on TikTok. But you are on speaker. Jamie, Jamie in the chat, that is Keith's wife. Oh, here comes, I got Mark here. Yeah, hi Mark, it's Mark. Hi Mark, we are live. And I have Brian's on the line. Hi Brian. Hello Mark. Thanks for joining, I definitely appreciate it. Well, it's good to hear your voice. It's good to hear Marge's voice. I'm looking forward to this. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just wait. A couple people are joining in. 1 second. You did promote the live hoplite. Okay. I don't see anything where I have to accept it. Usually I do. Man, do you have a lot of people who are supporting you? Brian, I'm telling you, your friends and family. I have a little hoarse voice. I don't know what's going on, but you have a lot of support in here. I'm telling you. That's one thing I've always have been grateful for is the amount of people I have in my life that have stood by me, that love me, and support me. You do. I don't know your name. Wait, user, because you came in here under username. It says it's amazing to hear Brian's voice. Thank you. And because you came on under username, I know I don't know who you are. It's already accepted. Okay, thank you. Somebody's promoting my live. It's Greta. Greta is in here. Yes. Okay. A family friend. Okay, Greta's here. Wow. Good. Look at this. I know, Mark, this is amazing. Well, you know, the thing is, I think when you get a chance to actually meet Brian and especially his family and the whole crew, these are all very nice people. They're fine, upstanding citizens. They have real jobs and they're real people and they're real nice. My wife Sherry and I had the opportunity to meet these folks, and it was really nice to. It was a pleasure, I must say. Brian's wife Liz and their kids and everyone was really nice considering the circumstances. That's been very difficult, but nonetheless they're really good people. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And we have Marcy here. We work together. Brian.
yeah,
Marcy,
yeah,
yeah,
hi
yeah,
Marcy.
yeah. So you have your own fan club here. See, you don't have to be nervous. So for
I think I'm mainly nervous because I'm used to talking to large groups of people through my career. I'm just nervous about something that I've only recently begun talking about that I've held deep within inside me for 32 years, and until trial, my wife of 30 years didn't even know about it because that's too embarrassing and shame. So that's what I'm nervous about is bringing up all the trauma and reliving everything again. That's the hard part for me.
right, right. And my friend Matt, who I told you about, who is also Allie's friend that I spoke to you about, Attorney Allie,
Oh, okay.
he said Brian has my support.
Wonderful.
Brian has my support, 1,000,000%. Here we go.
Thank you.
Yep, that's my friend Matt. We've been talking all day.
Yeah, and I think will be monitored and recorded. Well, I am so thankful for everybody that's taking the time out of their day, and Mark, for you for hosting this and bringing it all together. I don't take this stuff lightly. I don't take it for granted. So thank you for everybody. Because I know everybody's working and they're busy, and for them to take a time out of their day to hear my story and to listen, and hopefully be able to finally get the truth out. I guess I want to first. This is a very strange story. This is a not only is this a very cold case, it's a very strange story. When you consider that if one thing had a change, if Brian got off the plane in San Diego and he told the cab driver, "Look, take me to the amphibious base in Coronado," this would never have happened. But Brian told the cab driver, take me to the Navy base. The cab driver assumed, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Brian, but this is actually what happened. But Brian said, take me to the Navy base. And of course, in San Diego, there's Navy and military installations all over the place. Yeah. So the cab driver just sort of assumed that he was referring to the 32nd Street Naval Station, which is the headquarters of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. And the cab driver takes him over there, drops him off. There you go, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day. And leaves. Brian shows up and presents his orders to the at the quarterdeck. And they say, okay, thank you, but you're at the wrong base. You belong at the Naval Amphibious Base in Coronado. And just so happened that Larry Breen was there for whatever reason, and happened to say, well, okay, I can help you. I'll give you a ride over there. And knowing full well that he was sizing up Brian and was looking at him like a predator to prey. And this is the facts. I didn't believe this until this case started, and then I got into it, and those are the facts. Larry Breen was nothing more than a sexual predator, and he looked at Brian as potential prey, and that's why he chose to help him. Pure and simple.
You're
and
right.
When he dropped Brian off at the Naval Amphibious Base in Coronado, he was looking at the long term. He was looking at prey, like a predator looks at prey. And he proposed to Brian, "Hey, look, you want to get together or whatever? Hey, you're new in town. Brian's, dive class didn't form up until June 30th. Fine, hey, I got a car, and maybe we can get together. Fine, it's no big deal." And that's how this whole thing started. So from the get-go, it's very strange. And the fact is, Larry Breen should have never been allowed in the U.S. military in the first place. That was a huge mistake. And to allow him to be in the military for 8 years, doing what he was doing, but when you take into account that the department head on the USS Fox told his people, look, because there's rumors, and in the Navy we call it scuttlebutt, and there's rumors and there's people saying stuff, and hey, I saw this guy doing this, he's doing this, and the department head said to his people, look, if you don't have any proof, then shut up. So when a department head, lieutenant commander, tells you to shut up, you shut up.
Shut up. Yeah.
So all these guys that were talking, in the berthing department, and they were seeing, because guys on the ship, they lived and worked together. That's a pretty close relationship. So when he's telling you to shut up, Larry Breen was essentially being covered for, and this is why someone, and it kind of boggles your mind to think that somebody, and more than one person, actually thought it was a good idea to have him serving the President of the United States and his family at Camp David, a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Serving the President of the United States and his family at Camp David. And somebody thought that was a good idea. And he was headed that way.
Scary.
And this is a national security issue.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the U.S. military. And when you
Brian,
look at this from a national security perspective, it's frightening.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway.
But let me let everyone know who's speaking, because this is Mark. He is the private investigator who worked on Brian's case. So my
name is Mark Kochanski. I'm out of San Diego, and I met up with Brian in April of 2023, and started working the case, the criminal case. So that's who I am.
Thank you. And Mark has been so kind to speak to me on a couple occasions about this case, and he brought so much light so that I understood what was going on. So Brian, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 54 years old, and in July of 2022, I was on my way to work, and I was arrested and pulled over. Thought I was named Steve.
Could you just speak up a little bit so it goes a little bit low? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the phone system I'm on is not probably the best quality in here.
I know.
In 2022, I was pulled over on my way to work, and I wasn't quite sure why. And they took me down to the police station, said they had an out-of-state warrant, and of course, I found out pretty quickly that I was there for what happened in 1990. Well, in 1990, I graduated in 1989 and joined the military and tried to get away from small town Ohio. I grew up in Charlotte, Ohio, and couldn't wait to escape my poverty, and my childhood wasn't the best. I don't know how much detail you want to go into.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, abusive, and I grew up in poverty. Father was a hoarder. So I joined the military at 18, didn't even tell anybody. So I got home, and after I'd done it, I told my mom and dad I joined, and I was excited to be out on my own and to see the world and to learn a new trade, and like I said, to experience life. I went to boot camp in Florida, graduated, and then I went to Philadelphia for a couple months to learn how to weld.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I arrived in San Diego, and like Mark explained very well, me being new and naive and not really world traveled yet, I didn't know much about. I don't think I've ever been on a plane before. So when they dropped me off the airport, and the cab picked me up, I told him I just need to go to the naval base, and he dropped me off at 32nd Street instead of Coronado Amphibious Base, where I was supposed to go.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I was reporting to be a Navy diver at Coronado Amphibious Base back in May of 1990. Of course, he dropped me off at 32nd Street and had taken off already before we realized the mistake. Larry Breen had overheard me talking that I needed to go to Coronado on that day, so he volunteered to drive me over there. Of course, it saved me money, and he was in uniform. I saw he was an E5, a higher ranking officer, so I trusted him, and I was thankful and grateful. I'm about to get cut off. So
yeah, call me right back. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, we're here. Liz. Mark, how'd you make out today? Did you get anywhere with that situation?
I testified today in a family matter, and I haven't testified in court in a long time.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to put on, a coat and tie, which is it's traumatic in and of itself.
Right.
I had to, remember how to tie a tie.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And dust off a sport coat and shine my shoes. Anyway, so oh, there we go.
Did you get anywhere with the other situation you were gonna try to handle?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Darn.
Yeah, no, she wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
I'm back.
Okay.
There he is.
You're back.
Okay. Go ahead. Just before I go into him dropping me off at the Coronado Bid days and what happened after that, I just want to say, the last 3 years I've been told to be quiet, not to go to the media. I can't talk to anybody because I can ruin my case. I can ruin my appeal. So the truth has never been heard. And everything that people read in the media or what people think they know is what the judge and the DA so carefully streamlined during the trial and allowed the media and the jury to hear. But now that it's over with, the appeal, I want the truth to be heard about what really happened. Now that I can disclose all the discovery, everything that the media and the jury weren't allowed to hear, and that's a lot of very solid evidence that Mark knows as well as I do that was covered up and not allowed to be heard. And that's the only reason I took it to trial, because I felt confident in the truth, and I figured the justice system would let me tell the truth. So when I got there, unbeknownst to me, and my trial attorney never told me either, you wouldn't be allowed to talk about Larry at all, or his lifestyle, or the things that he did to other people, or his predatory behavior. And anytime you try to bring up anything, it's going to be objected to, and the judge is not going to allow you to do it. So the jury only got to hear the negative side of what I did, and not what led up to it. Because before 19 years old, before I arrived in San Diego, I'd never been in any type of trouble. And after 19, after that terrible night,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I've never been in any trouble after that terrible night. So I try to lead a very good life. I've been married for 30 years to my wonderful wife. She's supporting me completely. I've got 3 kids, 3 adult kids, and my 2 sisters that are supporting me and standing by my side. So, to me now, because I've known a lot of people that have turned their back on me, that I've known for 20 plus years, because all they read was what the media allowed them to read. So this is a great opportunity, and I appreciate you giving me this platform and Mark's platform to explain to the public what the judicial system did and what they do to other people. Because I was told by my lawyer that this was one of the most expensive cases San Diego ever investigated or had taken to trial. So they had a lot at stake as far as making an example out of me and for the taxpayers' dollars and whatnot. So they had a lot at stake as far as not letting the truth be heard. Well, And also the military did too, because the military, like Mark had said, knew that this individual was a predator in doing things, and the Secret Service, who vetted him to work for the president in Camp David, they vetted him and they approved him, and he was already authorized to go work for the president. So that shows the failure on their end that they didn't vet him properly back in 1990, right. And that would have looked bad on them. But no, I appreciate it. And the main thing is, I want to say too, is the remorse I have for everything that has transpired from that night. You know, how it's affected so many people. That's not what I wanted to happen. I take responsibility that I shouldn't have been letting my guard down and being too trusting and naive, and I shouldn't have been drinking alcohol. But I'm also intelligent enough not to know that I didn't cause him to do what he did to me. But if I wouldn't have been drinking and thinking I was more mature than what I was and hanging out and finally being away from home for the first time and getting myself to that point where I passed out and let my guard down, I don't think any of this would have happened. So the guilt I have for everything that happened from that night and what's happening now to my family, to my wife, my kids, my sisters, who weren't even involved in 1990. Heck, I didn't even know my wife in 1990. I met her in 1995. My kids weren't even born yet, and now they're being affected by this greatly. And the guilt I have in my heart every day, knowing what they're going through, is tearing me apart.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let that be known why this platform is so important for me to be able to finally, it's almost like you're taking an anchor off of me.
Well, look, as far as getting the truth out, the fact is, in the preliminary hearing, Deputy District Attorney Lisa Fox came out, speculated that at the time she threw out the homophobic the fact that she was throwing out, we're talking about homophobia here, and that this is, homophobic, murder, and so on and so forth. And then after that, she never mentioned a word of that again. In trial, the Deputy District Attorney never proposed a theory as to why Brian would want to murder Larry Breen. And that, I understand, it's second-degree murder. It's not premeditated. I get that. She didn't have to. However, in most cases, especially in a jury trial, the jury wants to know, okay, why did this person do this? And in this case, Lisa Fox never mentioned anything about motive, which is very, very strange. When you're talking about somebody, killing somebody else, murder, whatever, it's a little odd that was never brought out to the jury. So there are a lot of aspects to this case that are very, very strange, and that is one of them. And what's also very strange is the fact that after the jury rendered its verdict and the judge dismissed them, instead of coming out the front door like they usually do, they slipped out the back door. They were allowed to leave, and we could never, ask them, how did you arrive at your decision? We were not allowed that opportunity, and they can speak or not, but for whatever reason, they slipped out the back door in the rear of the courthouse, in the rear of the courtroom, and they disappeared. Right. Now that is very odd, because in a case like this, when there's no motive offered, and you send these people out the back door.
Right.
That to me is very, very strange. What's very, very strange too is that none of Larry Breen's family or friends, of course he had a couple of sisters, but he didn't have any friends or shipmates or anybody, because he was living a secret double life, if you will. No one was there for him. No one. Nobody from the Navy, no family, no anybody was there for Larry Breen. But Brian had.
Well, the thing is too.
Anyway,
I had a lot of people in support. I'm blessed to have so many people that traveled all the way to California from across the country to support me. But
right, I know.
And
that was really very uplifting that there are people there who took their time and their money and chose to be there for Brian, and no one was there for Larry Breen. So what does that tell you?
Well, that's the other thing I was trying to say.
It speaks volumes.
The judge, not the judge, but the DA tried to speculate and conjecture and paint the story that his sisters wanted to be there, but they couldn't. Well, from what I was told, that his sisters wanted nothing to do with the trial because they knew the lifestyle he was leading. And I wish they would have subpoenaed his sisters to the trial, because they put discovery, they even put into evidence that they warned him to quit taking advantage of people, that they weren't going to like it. But because they were never subpoenaed to trial to testify on why they made that statement, the jury never got to hear his own sister warn him to quit that risky behavior.
Right. Well, the thing is, Larry Breen's lifestyle and the way lifestyle is the way you live your life. Okay.
Right.
His lifestyle, and this was brought out by investigators who started this case from 1990. Said, okay, so we're investigators, so we need to find out what happened here. So they quickly, very quickly, understood that Larry Breen's perverted lifestyle was a vital factor in why this happened. At the time, he was with Brian. He was being in the process of going through an eviction. He had been in his home for 6 months, only 6 months. His off-base residence for 6 months. The lady that was the landlord there had had enough of him and his antics and said, "Look, you got 30 days and you're out." Okay, and he said, "Okay," instead of just saying, "Okay, fine, I'll go back to the ship. I'm ready to be transferred anyway." Perhaps he chose to move into another apartment because he needed to live this sort of lifestyle. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. And I'm, glad that I've at least got, can give my 2 cents. But this is what happened. And this is the kind of guy he was.
Right.
And let me tell you something. And let me tell you something about Larry Breen. After Larry Breen, after they went into Larry Breen's locker, cut it open, and looking through all his items, one thing they found in Larry Breen's locker on board USS Fox was a pair of Brian's underwear. What does that tell you about Larry Breen? Who steals underwear? Okay? Larry Breen was mentally ill. Look at his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Right.
And it's disgusting. Who steals somebody else's underwear?
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you about somebody? And it's disgusting.
Oh, yes, it is. Absolutely. And like Beth says, the jury didn't get to hear any of this.
No,
they got to hear about what they wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
They let them hear about the underwear, because here's another thing: prosecutorial misconduct. And I know this is the wrong. They're not allowed to do this, but they get away with it. But he was speculating because they had no motive, alluding to the jury that, "Oh, did you give me your underwear? Did you Did you go to the nude beach with him, which I never did?
Mm-hmm,
Did you remove his clothing? Did you have a relationship with him? Throughout the whole trial, she kept making these little digs and these little comments, and none of it was true. And I was also going to make a very strong statement here that was said. The jury never got to hear it either. This investigation was botched from the very beginning in 1990. And one of the things they didn't do was investigate properly, because in May of 1990, they made a comment to San Diego police and the NCIS.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
San Diego Police Department was too busy at the time. They didn't have time for another big gay sailor. They actually made that comment, and I sent the discovery. Nobody got to hear that they had that mindset and attitude. They also didn't even go to his main apartment where all his clothes were at and all his belongings, because he just got kicked out and he wasn't moved into the new apartment yet to even investigate. They never went over there.
Oh.
So when his family members went over there with the military to collect his belongings, massage tables, hypnotizing books, gay porno mags, and in the closet was a whole box of pictures that they would not allow the family to look at. So I don't know what these pictures entailed, but it never got put into evidence because it got taken away and destroyed, and we don't know what happened to it. But the landlord kicked him out because he was getting beat up repeatedly by vagrants that he was bringing home. They were bringing vagrants home, and they were beating him up, stealing his car. He had his car stolen.
Okay, he'll call us right back.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's weird. So Mark, where did he have his car stolen from? Was it that apartment or just?
This was in April of 1990, he picked up a couple of vagrants on the street, and they were essentially, it's essentially prostitution. You know, hey guys, you want to have a good time? Yeah, sure. These guys are looking to make money and whatever. So he picked these guys up and said, hey, come on over to my place. Let's, buy some beer. Let's get some, something to eat, and, give them a bath and massage and all this other. And they watched some porn together. And, Larry Breen was essentially, picking up these people who are, destitute vagrants on the street. And these guys, accompany him back to his place. And then the next day, Larry Breen hooks up with them again, same couple of guys, and they go to a beach. It's probably Black's Beach. It's one of the new beaches here, but anyway, back in the day, it was. So anyhow, they were drinking, and Larry Breen, falls asleep on the beach, passes out, and these two guys who were from Louisiana originally, were thinking, you know what, we need to get back home. San Diego, I mean, we've had it here. We want to go home. So what they did was they stole his car, and they took the keys and started driving east. And they were stopped at the Border Patrol checkpoint, or a Border Patrol checkpoint in Texas, and went through the checkpoint. And Larry Breen woke up and realized his car's gone, reported to the San Diego PD, and they entered it in the system. These two guys went through a Border Patrol checkpoint. They ran the plate and came back as the vehicle stolen. So they pulled the vehicle over, seized the vehicle, arrested these two guys, and called back to San Diego and said, hey, we got your car here. We got these two guys in it. What do you want us to do? And Larry Breen said, well, I don't want to prosecute. I just want my car back. So that's the story with that. And these were the same guys that he was bringing in on a fairly regular basis, obviously, over the course of his time, which is why he was evicted. This is not a one-off. This is why he was evicted. After 6 months of this, his landlord, who was living at the front of the house, he was in the back of the property, had enough. She said, look, no hard feelings, but you got to go. And that's why he was moving into his new place. So his vehicle was stolen a month. This is in April of 1990. That's when his vehicle was stolen. And he decided not to press charges because he probably thought, a lot of the details of my sordid, perverted life are probably going to come into into focus, into light, and he didn't want any of that. So he was just happy to get his car back, and he just wanted to move on. So, that's basically it. And that was the month prior to him meeting Brian.
Oh, okay.
So that was right in that time period. And like I say, his landlord was having him evicted. So look, landlords don't want to evict tenants, okay? Especially when they have a job, they're paying rent, everything's they need the money. So all I can tell you is that there had to be a pretty good reason why this lady wanted him out, and I think it's obvious. He was entertaining a lot of low-life, vagrant street bums,
right?
And she was, saw that up close and personal. She was living on the property and said, "No, I can't deal with this anymore." And after just 6 months, she threw him out, and she had had enough. And he moved into another place, and he was gonna, just continue doing what he was doing.
Yeah,
obviously.
So Brian,
and that's the one I'm like.
Go ahead.
Brought that up because that's another witness for my defense that was not ever subpoenaed. And the jury never got to hear that she evicted him for bringing home vagrants, for getting beat up, for having cars stolen, and for whatnot. But when I look back at the discovery, those gentlemen that he picked up and stole his car and tried to drive back to Louisiana, that's one thing the prosecutor again did not allow the jury to hear. He used to drive around San Diego at nighttime picking up homeless young boys, 18 to 19-year-old homeless boys, and pay them cash, alcohol, food, sexual favors. And the guy that stole his car even wrote a police report out saying that when he picked them up, they were actually being picked up by a lot of homosexual guys at night, and they spent the last for money and food because they were desperate. That's all in the police report. And they also said that when Larry picked him up, he gave him cash, bought him food, and took him back and cleaned him up, and gave him massages and did sexual things to them.
It's essentially,
but again, the jury never got to hear that, and that is called moral turpitude and prostitution. It's a character defect that is supposed to be allowed to be heard.
And Larry Breen was essentially, this is solicitation of prostitution. Okay, what he wanted was he wanted sex, and what his preference was young straight men. So he cruised the streets of San Diego at the time, and he was looking for young straight men that he could purchase, that he could solicit essentially for prostitution. And these guys were okay. It doesn't matter if you give them money, if you give them food, if you give them whatever it is. The fact is, he was soliciting prostitutes,
right?
And soliciting prostitution, and he didn't care how old they were. I mean, the fact is, Brian was 19 at the time. Larry Breen was buying a beer. The drinking age at the time was 21. So you're going to furnish somebody alcohol knowingly. Somebody's underage,
right?
That's a misdemeanor right there. So this guy's soliciting for prostitution. He is providing alcohol to people who are underage. These are. This guy is just an accident waiting to happen. I mean, this is the lifestyle that he chose.
Right. Yeah.
And he was doing this on a regular basis.
Right.
This is what turned him on. And this was his sexual preference.
Yeah.
He liked young, straight men that he could manipulate. And this is what this is how he got his jollies.
And he was supposed to be their superior,
Right. He liked power. He liked control, and he didn't need to he used money and his position and whatever to to get what he wanted from these people, which is to have sex with young heterosexual men. And I've said this before, if he just wanted sex, all he had to do was go into Hillcrest, which is the gay community in San Diego, and he could find anybody, but he didn't want that. I've said this before. He was a predator. He was looking for prey, and this was he liked the thrill of the chase and the thrill of the hunt. And a lot of people don't understand this, and it's very difficult to understand because he's mentally ill, obviously, but this is what he liked, and he wasn't going to change, no matter whether he was going to get evicted or whether whether he was wherever he was stationed. This is his way of life,
right?
And he liked that.
Yeah.
And people were covering for him, and this is why I say, someone unbelievably thought that Larry Breen would be a suitable fit at Camp David. It's beyond belief.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Well, you got to remember, Mark, his commanding officer that was investigated, you're not supposed to fraternize with enlisted, and he was over there scheduled to have according to his sisters who were never subpoenaed, to have a massage by Larry, which tells you the cover-up and the extent of the cover-up is the commanding officer was doing stuff like that.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Well, look, Larry Breen was very good at his job. I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. He was a mess specialist in the Navy. He was very good at what he did. He served the captain. He was very good. He was a chef. Very culinary superstar is what he was described in one of his evals, military evaluations. And yes, he was very good at his job. Okay, fine. But his private life was a disaster. He may have been very professional in his job, and that's one thing. But in his private life, it was a complete shambles. Obviously, and he knew it too. He didn't socialize with anybody on board the ship. He had no family and no friends in San Diego. Zero. Matter of fact, when he didn't show up for that command inspection the next day, his department head told the leading petty officer, "Hey, go see if you can find Larry Breen. I mean, it's find out where is this guy? He's supposed to be here." So they went to his old address because he never told them that first of all, he was being evicted. We didn't tell them that, and he never told them that he was moving. So they went to his address, didn't find him. And this guy went back and told his boss, "Hey, I don't know where he is. He's not there." So they never found out about it until a day or two later. And so he was trying to keep all this secret. And I've mentioned this, many times before, his whole life was one big lie. Obviously, he lied his way into the military, and he wanted to cover up the lie he was living as much as he could. And there were people in the military at the time, the Navy, his commanding officers, department head at the time, who were fine with it as long as he was doing, a great job on board the ship, and he was preparing meals and making the commanding officer happy, his department head happy. They were fine with it. And like I said, his department head said, "Look, people, I don't care about rumors. If you don't have proof, then shut up."
Yeah.
And that's how they covered it up.
I'd like to add.
And they looked the other way, and they looked the other way, and I think they wore it as a badge of honor that one of our people is going to be selected to work for the President of the United States. I think they kind of like that.
They were. Mm-hmm.
Mark.
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to add to that too. Larry lived off base because he was B5 or higher. He didn't have to take a shower on the ship. This is stuff the jury didn't get to hear either. But he used to stay after hours purposely to shower with a young 18 and 19-year-old boys that had just joined the military that had to live on board the ship. And he would shower with these young guys, and then he'd walk around Birmingham for an hour or two. Nude. With these guys, which is very odd behavior, and also fully aroused, which is very odd behavior.
Yeah.
And he would grab guys, hug them, grab them, poke them with his, you know, and that is sexual assault. And the thing is, that was covered up, and we had a witness come in and did a 402 hearing without the jury in the room. And he was brave, courageous. He was embarrassed, but he felt it was the right thing to do because he said that could have been him. In my shoes, it could have happened to him.
Right.
He was 18 to 19 years old at the time, too, and told the judge and the DA and my trial attorney the stuff that I didn't even know about. That he used to sexually assault guys aboard the ship, in the captain's stateroom, and in different various areas of the ship. And that, at the end of it, after he was brave enough to talk, the judge told him it wasn't relevant. That his courage and his statement and what happened to him and the 7 other guys that he named off. He named off 7 other guys on the ship that he knew for a fact just by himself had been assaulted, not counting who they knew that had been assaulted by the guy. The guy used his rank because even the DA said, "How come you didn't report him?" He said, "Because we were intimidated. We were intimidated because of his rank and his position working straight for the captain. Nobody had the courage to come forward." Now, can you imagine if these young 18 and 19-year-old boys would have been girls?
Yeah.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So what? I mean, would that just? I mean, would the way they justified his behavior there, would it be justified if they had been women? I don't think it would have been.
Right.
So I think it's kind of hypocritical. Say it's not sexual assault.
Right. That's crazy.
And also, he was using alcohol as a tool. He was using it as a tool to, and people would say he was twice the legal limit the night, according to the coroner, the night he did what he did to me. And even the World Health Organization says that takes away inhibition. It makes, people take chances and risk taking, and so if he did that stuff on the ship, imagine what he would do to a young 19-year-old boy all alone. You know?
Right.
So that tells me, especially under the influence of alcohol. So yeah, if he did that on the ship with witnesses back in 1990.
Right. Oh, I'll be right back.
I'll call back.
Yep.
Well, look, here's the thing. The night this incident happened, Larry Breen, in the autopsy, his blood alcohol level was 0.15. Now, in the state of California, 0.08, you are legally drunk. You're legally intoxicated. He was almost twice the legal limit.
Yeah.
Okay? He was wasted. Now, this was the day prior to the command inspection where he was supposed to be there on board the ship. This guy is gross. This is why I say this guy was, if you look at his behaviors, he is obviously very mentally ill. And he's got a command inspection the next day, and he's getting wasted. And during that inspection the next day, they were going to make an announcement on board the ship that, we've got a guy up here that's in the running to work for the President of the United States. So here's a guy that's committing sexual assault that is twice the legal limit.
Right.
Alcohol. And he's doing this, and someone thinks that this is a good fit for the President of the United States and his family at Camp David.
Right.
This is Larry Breen, and this is how he lived his life. And he wasn't about to change.
No.
I mean, this is who he was. He thought that because of he worked for the commanding officer. So, and because of his rank and his seniority, he had been in it almost 8 years. So because of his rank, his position, his relative seniority, he thought, hey, I got this. Nobody's going to mess with me. And it's true.
Right.
I mean, you're in birthing quarters. This is not the Queen Mary. It's the USS Fox. And for all these civilians out there who think they know what they're talking about, they have no clue. These bunks are stacked 3 high. Okay, there is zero privacy, zero. So when you got some guy that's parading around, flaunting, walking around with his erect penis after getting out of the shower. Are you kidding me? And this, with 30 and 40 guys, that's disgusting.
Absolutely.
And you want to talk about a hostile work environment? People in the civilian world would, be up in arms, but civilians don't have a clue as to what they're talking about. This is the U.S. military back in the 1990s, and this is the way it was. And, it's not like you could quit. You had to do your job, and you had to, and these poor guys had to put up with this idiot. And that's the way he was. And unfortunately, none of this came out at trial. And we wanted to present this, say, hey, look, this is not a one-off. This is the way Larry Breen is. This is the way he lived his life. And this is what investigators knew about him. He'd bring people home off the street for gay sex and massages and so on and so forth. And this is who he was.
Right.
And he wasn't about to change because essentially he was being enabled by the military because they knew what was going on. But like I said, his department head said, and he told me, he said, look, I told everybody, hey, if you don't have any proof, then shut up. And of course, people were like, well, okay. And Breen, he was acting like an idiot, on board the ship. But as far as, sexual assault or whatever it may be, he did the best he could to try to keep as discreet as possible.
Right.
And that's why he focused on picking up, young straight men who are not in the military. That's why when he picked up Brian, this was a little bit out of his realm, and because I think he was very attracted to Brian, and I think this guy is very risky. He's this is the way he lived his life. I mean, this is what predators do.
Right, absolutely.
They like the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the chase. So, and this is one of his turnouts.
Right.
So he saw Brian as an opportunity and couldn't resist, even though Brian was in the military. He said, okay, well, maybe this is worth a shot. And this is why he kind of, groomed Brian, if you will, and said, hey, they went out a couple of times, out to the mall or whatever, everything's fine, it's all in the up and up. They're just, hanging out, doing whatever, until he thought the time was right and, to make his move. And so he felt like, okay, fine. I'm going to get this guy drunk. I'm going to get myself drunk. He was 0.15. And he thought, okay, this is my moment.
Right.
And, this is what he did. This is what turned him on. And he didn't give a damn about his inspection the next morning. He didn't give a damn where he had to be. This was his priority.
Absolutely. So
you think a grown man would be preparing for the admiral visit and his great honor of being selected to work for the captain, for the president, but instead he's hanging out with a 19-year-old. And looking back with an adult brain and, years of wisdom, I look back and I see the red flags. Why was this 31-year-old E5 being hanging out with a 19-year-old E1? But at the time, I was naive. I just graduated boot camp and I was taught to respect E5s. And I'll be honest with you, I thought it was kind of cool. E5 was willing to hang out with an E1. And I knew nobody when I arrived in San Diego. And he had a car and he was buying me alcohol, showing me around, and getting me off the base on my off time, which I thought was cool. So looking back at the red flags, I see them quite clearly now that I should have probably been alerted that something was off, but I wasn't. And he took advantage of that.
Right. So Brian, so can we go, and I know this is probably painful, Well, can we go back to that night and tell everyone a little bit about what happened that night? Because I know that's what everyone wants to hear.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, your cousin, I believe, Jennifer, am I right in saying, Jennifer, you're here? I think she just joined. I think it's all the way up there, but your cousin Jennifer's here.
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
My
Okay.
cousin Jennifer down in Louisiana. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yes, I'm going to definitely talk about that night right now.
Okay.
And I will tell you, not only was I victimized that night, and I spent years and years with PTSD and alcohol abuse and depression after what happened. I was victimized again by the court system. And now my family's being victimized, and it's not getting any easier. You know, they ask you why you don't come forward. Why don't you come forward when something like that happens? Well, when you're a 19-year-old kid, just left home for the first time, you're scared to death. You don't know who's going to believe you, who's going to who to turn to because you don't know anybody. And basically, it was my third time hanging out with him. I'd only hung out with this individual 3 times, and on the third time, he picked me up at the base, and back then in 1990, you could drink at 18 years old on San Diego Coronado military base because they didn't want sailors going down to Tijuana. So they let you drink as long as you're on base, but off base, you had to be 21. And that's the thing Larry did too. He used alcohol as a tool. You know, I've learned more about it since that night. And what predators do is they use alcohol as a tool to incapacitate their prey. And honestly, like I told my lawyer before trial, I felt like I had been drugged because I was confused, disorientated, and I've never felt that way before in my life. And I don't think Larry thought I was going to wake up. I think it caught him off guard that I came to because he became very violent and very aggressive. But basically, he picked me up at the military base, and I had been drinking a couple beers waiting for him to arrive. He was all excited to show me his new apartment since he was getting kicked out of his old one. And I didn't know why he was getting kicked out of his old one. He never explained that to me. But when we got to his apartment, he showed me around, and then he said, let's go get some alcohol. Well, we walked across the back lot. There's the Bond supermarket where we bought the alcohol, or he bought the alcohol. I was too young. And then we went back to the apartment. And we sat there for a couple hours drinking alcohol and just talking and hanging out. And he decided he was going to take a shower. And I don't know if that, when I started getting tired and sleepy, I just know when he was in the shower, I passed out. And I don't know how much time had passed between the time he went in there and the time I laid down that I woke up to him. I woke up with him sexually assaulting me and taking advantage of me by overpopulating me. And I tried to get up. Once I realized what was going on, it took me a few seconds because I was disorientated. And as I started pushing him off, kicking him off, telling him to, I'm sure it's 35 years. I don't know the verbiage I used. Pretty sure it was colorful, but I told him to get off on me, and I kept kicking him off, and he kept pushing me down. So he became aggressive and told me not to get up. And I finally got up. And when I got up, he tackled me. And the struggle, happened there. And then I got up again. And by the time I got to the door and tried to escape, he was blocking the door with a kitchen knife. And that's when I knew it was fight or die. And we struggled over the knife. And it all happened so quickly. I'm going to guess. I can't even give you an accurate time frame. I'm going to say it's under 30, 40 seconds, maybe the whole fight, maybe a minute. But I stabbed Larry the first time, with the knife. We both had our hands on it, and I stabbed him the first time in the side of his neck. I wasn't aiming for anything in particular. I was just trying to get control of the knife, and he was trying to get it away from me. And then after I did stab him, he turned crazy, like a wounded animal, and he started attacking me even more aggressive. And we both went out the window right beside the door. We fell out the window together as we were fighting for the knife. We landed in the courtyard. And when we got up in the courtyard, he came after me again to grab that knife. And I drove him backwards towards the fence. And that's why I'll go into detail about that in a minute. But that's where I stabbed him the final time. And he quit struggling, quit fighting, and I stopped. I stopped at that point once the threat was over, because it wasn't one of these crazy things where I stabbed him like one witness tried to say I stabbed him 19 times, and that got into the evidence too. And the coroner even said I stabbed him 2 times. I didn't. And the DA tried to act like her own blood splatter expert, even though we didn't have any at the trial, and telling the jury her view of what happened that night based on the blood on the wall and the door and in the courtyard. And she speculated the whole time. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
what I find frustrating, I guess is the word, is the DA was allowed to say a lot of things that weren't true. Like, we even had the lead detective on there, Sergeant Calloway, and my attorney asked him point blank, was there any evidence of anything being cleaned up, wiped down, the smell of bleach, any type of wiping of blood or anything? And he said, no, none at all. She asked the first detective on the scene, and she said the same thing. And throughout the whole trial, the DA said that I wiped everything down, tried to hide evidence, tried to clean up the crime scene, and that even made it into my sentencing report that got me sentenced. As fact, that I tried to wipe everything down, and I didn't. I was a scared 19-year-old kid that fled. I got my wits about me. I took a shower because I was covered in blood. And I don't know how long from the time the fight ended till the time I left the apartment. But I didn't try to wipe anything down, didn't try to clean anything up, and there's no evidence of that. She also tried to tell the jury, which made it into the evidence as fact, and it's not fact.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I chased him down, and he was trying to flee from me, and then he was trying to run away from me, and I'm a monster, and how he couldn't get away from me, and I attacked him, and all this stuff, and none of this stuff is true. Like I said, prior to that night and after that night, I have no violence, no criminal record, no DUIs, no speeding tickets. I'm a family man, and that's the way I dealt with my PTSD and gaining control of my life after losing control at night, is by being the best father and husband I could be, and being the best provider. And that's what I delved myself into for 30 years, because that's what brought me happiness and something I could control after when I lost control of that night. And it brought me purpose. I'm going to have to call you back. I'm Gary. Cut off.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
He's doing good.
Yeah. So, look, the fact is, you have to understand, Larry Breen and Brian were kind of sort of about the same size. So they were drinking, obviously. Larry Breen was 0.15. So Brian was probably pretty drunk too.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you have these two drunk guys in this confrontation, and they're both about, like I say, about the same size at the time.
Right.
So
An incarcerated
this is
individual at the Correctional Training Facility, Florida, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
so. Brian, I was mentioning that at the autopsy, Breen's blood alcohol level was 0.15. Now, you mentioned that you were feeling it too, and so you were of similar, maybe similar size, similar build as Larry Breen. So you were probably pretty drunk too, and that's probably why you maybe dozed off, passed out, or whatever. So this situation is brought about by the fact that Larry Breen really wanted this to happen. He wanted to get everybody kind of loosened up, including himself and especially you, so that he could have his way with you. And when the time was right, and this is what predators do. He used alcohol, he used all this stuff to get what he wanted. And it's very odd, when you talk to people and you say, well, why would somebody do that? Well, look, you can't, make sense out of nonsense. The man is mentally ill. He never should have been in the military in the first place. The fact that he's in there for 8 years is a disgrace. And somebody thought he was good enough to work for the president of the United States at Camp David is unbelievable. But this is the way this guy was. And this is who he is. And actions speak louder than words. What did he do? He bought beer with that was his intention. He bought 2 6-packs of beer with a $100 bill. So it's like, okay, let's go get drunk. That's the point. And he had an inspection tomorrow. So this guy is grossly negligent, unbelievably irresponsible. And it goes back to his mental illness. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I'm just trying to explain this. That people who do this sort of thing are mentally ill. It's not a lifestyle choice. This guy is mentally ill.
Yeah.
And, let's face it, it was in homosexuality as recently as the 1940s was classified as a mental illness, and that disqualified homosexuals from the military service. Okay, period. It was classified as a mental illness. And this stuff about lifestyle choice and this and that.
Right.
That may be true in some civilian professions, but in the U.S. military, no.
Right.
No, you can't do that. And the fact of the matter is, at the time of this assault, if Brian would have notified somebody, Larry Breen was guilty of, I was looking it up, Article 134 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which means assault to commit sodomy. Now, that was back in the day. Times change, but when you attempt to do that, assault to commit sodomy, that's
right.
That's a big charge to hang on somebody.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree, Liz.
And the civilian world does their own thing.
That's called a forceful and atrocious crime, Mark. That's called a forceful atrocious crime, and that allows justifiable homicide, which they never instructed as far as forceful atrocious crimes or even attempting sodomy, let alone. But that's one thing I didn't bring up either. This whole thing has been embarrassing for me, and I've been embarrassed, ashamed, horrified by the whole thing. So my wife of 30 years didn't even know what happened because I didn't want my wife to know that happened to me. And I never even told my adult kids because what man wants their sons to know that happened to their father? So yeah, I kept it buried for so many years. But another thing that was brought up that proved the attempt to sodomize, not only did he remove my clothes, he removed his own clothes. And there's a lot of case law that proves that if the predator or the perpetrator removed the clothing of the victim and then his own clothes, that's sufficient enough to prove attempted rape or attempted sodomy. And sadly or grossly enough, at the scene, I didn't know it at the time.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They found a bottle of lube or Vaseline at the crime scene. So
Right.
apparently he had a lot of plans, and by me waking up or coming to fighting and trying to protect myself.
Yeah.
But I was scared and embarrassed to tell anybody. They kept saying, well, why didn't you tell anybody? Why didn't you lie about it?
Well, Larry Breen was a big risk taker. But the thing was, that's how he got off. That's what turned him on. Okay, taking risks, doing these things, and the thing a lot of people don't understand. Larry Breen was found naked. Okay, naked. He had no clothes on. There was a bottle or a tube of Vaseline found in the apartment on the floor. So here's Larry Breen, 0.15 alcohol, naked with a tube of Vaseline on the floor. What do you think is going on there? If anybody is confused about what do you think Larry's plans were, he's naked, he's 0.15, and there's a tube of Vaseline on the floor, and he's got some kid there that he's got drunk and he's going to take advantage of. Period. That's all. How else could you describe that? And I think the deputy DA was sort of at a loss when she's trying to think, okay, what story am I gonna tell here? And I think she first of all, she decided, well, that homophobic thing is probably not going to work. So I think she was kind of waffling with regards to, well, maybe this was like a lover's quarrel kind of thing, because she really had no explanation, for the facts.
Yeah.
Well, no explanation that fit their narrative. But when they tried to preliminary, like Mark mentioned, they tried to paint me. They first of all tried to charge me capital murder, a hate crime for killing a gay man. And I think all the 40 character letters I had written on my behalf, all my friends and family that showed up, even people that were in the gay LGBTQ community that showed up, that supported me, they know that I'm not homophobic. I love everybody. If you're a good person, you're a good person. I don't judge people based on color or whether you're gay or not gay. I treat you what kind of character and moral integrity you have as a person. And I've had a lot of gay friends and a lot of black friends, a lot of Mexican friends. My wife is Korean, and so I think once she found out my wife was Asian, my kids are half Asian. I think she found out I had gay relatives and gay friends. I think she took that fight right up.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Her whole narrative changed from the preliminary to the trial. Not one time during the preliminary, it was nothing but I was a racist and homophobic. At the trial, not one word. In fact, she got irritated with the defense attorney, saying, "Oh, look how they're defending him, saying he loves gay people, and that we've never once accused him not of liking gay people." So, they tried to spin the whole narrative to meet, the direction they were trying to make this thing go.
Yeah. Brian, I do have a question. Someone asked, if you were both in the military, why wasn't the charges why wasn't it charged in military court?
Because it happened off base.
Oh.
It happened at Point Loma because he had military housing, paid for military housing, because of his rank. Because he was a higher ranking officer. If you're an E5 or above, and later on in my career, when I became an E5, I was allowed to live off base too. But yeah, if you're E4 and under, you have to live on the ship. And that's why. The San Diego police had jurisdiction. But NCIS did try to help out, especially after the San Diego police stated that they were too busy and didn't have time for another dead gay sailor, which was shocking in itself, especially 1990, definitely now. I mean, to me, that was a very inflammatory statement. And that also probably led to the direction of them not investigating everything thoroughly like they should have.
Right,
There are a
right.
lot of leads and follow-ups, like going to his apartment where all his belongings were. They never even walked through the door to look in there and find these photos that were taken away from the family that could have been pretty inflammatory.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Sierra, we are gonna this is also gonna be put on my YouTube, and trust me, I have attorneys who are watching this, and this is gonna be sent to quite a few people. And this is going to go into next week also. We are going to have some vets on, but we do have some in here tonight. They aren't active in the chat right now, but they will be up in the boxes next week also. But yeah, we're going to get this out here. I promise we are going to get this out here. And we are going to do petitions if we have to. We're not going to sit still. We get things moving. Trust me, we do. We do, and we will.
Well, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm so grateful to have people like you that care about, getting the truth out and the story out.
Yeah.
Because I've been told for 3 years to be quiet. Don't talk about it. Don't
No.
go to the media. And so now I got friends and family, like my cousin Jennifer, who joined a little bit ago. Nobody can hear the truth about, what happened. All they can read was what they found on the media. And so I'm sure for the last 3 years, I've had friends and family that I'm not allowed to talk to about this, extended friends and family that are going, wow, I thought we knew Brian. I thought Brian was a good guy. But now that I'm able to talk about it on your wonderful platform, and I have the proof of the discovery, everything I say, I can cooperate with the discovery, police statement, witness statements, with Mark, the private investigator, who's independent, that didn't even know me, that did his own research. I'm grateful to be able to finally get the truth out. And it's very important for me and for other people out there that are like me, because honestly, military sexual assault is an epidemic.
Right.
And it's kind of like the Me Too movement. There are so many people out there, and I'm going to say, especially men, it's horrific for anybody to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
But to be called a liar and whatnot, there's a reason I lied and didn't want to tell the truth. I was embarrassed and ashamed, and I didn't want my wife, my grown boys, and my daughters, and my friends to know that happened to me. Nobody wants to relive that. Right. And that was the hardest thing I had to ever do in my life, is to get back on that stand in front of a hostile courtroom and be called a liar and a monster and made to feel like I didn't matter. Yeah.
And Brian, we have, it says, tell you to stay strong. His family and supporters won't give up on him. Aunt Karen says hello. We believe in you. You have so much support in here. I've been doing this for over a year. I'm telling you this. I have never seen this before. I have never seen this before, Brian.
Look, hey, Marge,
yes.
Brian, and I can just tell you this. If Brian had been a woman, I guarantee you this would never have happened.
Oh.
Brian, if he was a woman, would have been treated, and then the same thing happened, would have been treated as a hero for fending off this rapist. I'm just saying, if the roles were reversed and Brian was a woman, there is no way in the world this would have happened.
Exactly.
And look, this is the real world, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's in the military, and considering all the circumstances, if Brian had been a woman, none of this would have happened. But he's a man, and I think the standards and the way it was handled was different.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Well, hopefully this gives courage to other people in the military, especially men that feel like they won't be believed, to come forward and talk to people.
Yeah.
Because I never did. Because I didn't feel like I had that door or anybody that would want to believe me or talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Plus the shame and guilt that comes along with it.
All the Vons in Indiana are listening. Keep strong. We love you. I'm sorry.
I love you all. I do. I got such a wonderful family.
And the thing is, And the thing is, Brian, if you would have told this story, it's like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm gonna tell everybody what happened. But who would have believed you?
Right. Oh, he has to call. He has to call back. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right. We said that. Who would have believed? Yep.
It's very. I mean, it's easy to say woulda, coulda, shoulda 30 years ago, but at the time, it's very, very difficult when you're in the middle of that storm,
Mm-hmm.
and people will say, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? Well,
right.
You have a prepaid call from.
Or I would have did this. I would have did that. You don't know what you would have did.
I mean, you may think you know what you might have done.
Yeah.
I know I would have done it this way.
No, you don't.
Well, yeah, maybe, but maybe not.
Maybe not. Right.
It's the circumstances in a traumatic situation like this. Who knows? Especially when you don't prepare for someone to be sexually assaulted.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's different if you're in war and somebody's shooting at you. Okay, I rely on my training or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I get it. But in real life, who prepares to be sexually assaulted?
Right.
Probably not too many people.
Exactly.
Especially when you're passed out and.
I kept trying to say you were a high school wrestler, a star wrestler in high school. Your friends said you were really good. You won all these championships. You've been able to subdue this grown 31-year-old man with a knife and subdue him and walk out the front door. I'm sorry, but when you're either A, drugged or intoxicated from alcohol, one or the other or both, and you're under a stressful situation that is
exactly.
I was in shock.
Sure.
Right, you're in somebody else's house, you're drunk, it's at night, there's no lights,
right.
And you're passed out and somebody tries to take advantage of you. You don't train for that. I don't care if you're an Olympic gold medal wrestler. So
right.
what? What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
You're an Olympic gold medal wrestler. Okay, you get in your wrestling uniform and we're gonna go wrestle. Okay, fine. But considering the circumstances, no,
right.
You're not preparing for that.
Right.
Nobody prepares to be sexually assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do? Especially if you're drunk, it's at night, it's dark, and you're in somebody else's house.
Exactly.
You don't know where you are. You're wasted, and it's dark, and it's. These people who are think you should have done this, you should have done that.
Right. So Brian, once you got yourself out of there, you just do you want to tell us how did you feel?
I'll tell you that I can't even tell you how the next year or two of my life, especially the next day or two of my life, I was walking. I think I was in shock for the next week or two.
Sure.
I was walking meth, but I had fled and went back to the base, and I was up all night, freaked out, didn't know what to do, and in the morning I drove back there, and I was going to drop because I had his car. I thought, well, I'm going to drop his car off because that's the only mode of transportation. I was stranded out there at his apartment. I didn't have a way back. So I took the vehicle. And I figured, well, I'll drop it back off. And then when I got back, I saw all the cop cars and everything, and I didn't know what to do. So I just left the car on the side of the road there, down a couple of blocks from the house. And I took the bus back. But I did get quite a few superficial injuries that the DA tried to downplay. I must have had roughly 10 or 15 cuts on my body. Some of them were fairly deep, but they tried to act like I should have been in the ER. So if that really happened, you should have been really messed up. But no, I did. I was bleeding all over. That's how they found me. Because of my blood. My blood was at the scene because I got cut up trying to get control of that knife. I've got right now on my hand. I've got cut marks on my hand still to this day. And from going through the window, I've got cut marks on my arm. But I did what I had to do. I buried my nose into becoming a Navy diver at dive school. I resorted to drinking for self-medication, and I drank a lot. I probably had alcohol poisoning a couple, 2 or 3 times in the military, and I'm not proud of that. But I had no therapist I could go to, nobody that I could talk to without telling the story. And that's why I've never claimed any VA benefits for PTSD or any type of medical help or therapy help, because then I'd have to relive and tell the story of what happened to me, and I couldn't do that. And so in '95, I met my wife of 30 years, who I'm still happily married to. And I think that's when my life started changing for the better. Because those 5 years after, I was living a kind of destructive lifestyle, even though I got high ranks in the military and I performed well, because that's who I am. Anybody that knows me knows I'm OCD to a fault. But I do that because I grew up with a hoarding father in poverty. I grew up with no control, a mentally abusive father, physically abusive at times. And when I joined the military, and even when I got out of the military, it was a form of control for me to excel whatever I was involved in, whether it be learning how to build something, fix something, learn something. And then when I met my wife in 1995, and we tried to have a family, and I had to have responsibility of buying a home and taking care of 3 little kids, I had even more of a purpose, and that's how I dealt with my PTSD. I control my PTSD by keeping busy. Anybody that knows me, all my character letters will tell you I am nonstop. I cannot relax. I'm always working on a project, always helping a family member or a friend out. I'm always trying to learn something, engage my brain, because it keeps me from thinking about all my bad things that I don't like to think about. In fact, when I came to jail for the first time when all this happened, I had nothing to entertain my brain or to keep me stimulated or busy, so my depression went to an all-time high, and I found myself in such a dark place that I'm amazed I've been able to push through it. So it has not been an easy journey, but I will give credit to my wife, my kids, my family, and everybody that loves me, just by keeping busy. And I'm also, like I said, I was a workaholic. I worked myself up from being a truck driver after the Navy to running a multi-million-dollar company. It's a family-owned company, but I ran their Fortune 500 company. So I ran a big regional area. I ran all of Southern Ohio, Southeast Indiana, and Northern Kentucky before I moved down to Knoxville and ran all of Northern Georgia, North Carolina, parts of North Carolina, and all East Tennessee, into Kentucky and West Virginia. So I ran big trucking markets with anywhere from 50 to 100 truckers. But I exceeded the that too, because just the way my brain works and how I had to keep busy. But I'd work 60, 80 hours a week, and we won 9 teams of the year because of just the dedication I put into my employees, trying to make them the best. I was always there for all my employees as a mentor or a friend. And that's, again, by me helping other people and being there for other people, not just my family and friends, but even my employees. I was able to find happiness within myself. And I still do that to this day. Even here in prison, I'm helping people learn how to understand how to buy a house, buy a car, how to get credit, how to invest, how to swing trade. I find enjoyment in trying to give back to other people. So that's how I dealt with all the trauma over the years. And now that I've had to get in front of a hostile courtroom and the media and tell my story, my most humiliating, embarrassing, and traumatic story of my life to people that know me. I talk about it more freely now. I get very emotional when I talk about it, and I break down quite often. And but at the same time, if this helps other people, or myself even, it's worth it. And
That's
I
right.
just want everybody to know, yeah, that there's hope. I'm so disappointed in the judicial system because I thought we were all allowed a complete data, allowed to present all the evidence needed in order to be, to be heard, but that's not true. I found out that it is a multi-billion-dollar corrupt system, and they can use different verbiage and different legal penal codes and whatnot to deny or allow things they want you to hear. And that's one thing I do have. And since I've been in prison, I use AI, I use law library, I use people here in jail that are law dogs or whatever you want to call them, yard lawyers or jail lawyers. And I've learned a lot. And we don't have time for it all tonight, but I do have a ton of things that happened wrong from the time I was arrested till all the way through the trial. And that gives me hope too. Everything from Miranda violations that were very blatant. Even the Knoxville detectives, when I got arrested, I have a video clip of them saying that the warrant was all effed up. And as they're walking down to get the San Diego detective to come interrogate me, they said, "Oh man, they really effed up this warrant, didn't they?" And the other detective said, "Yeah, they did." Or, "Don't you think I know it?" And he's like, "Yeah, they got a real problem." So this is a dialogue going on between these two trained Knoxville detectives that are used to looking at warrants. And so apparently the warrant was all effed up. The very next day, the judge in California sealed that warrant, and I haven't been able to get access to it the day after I was arrested. So I'm working on trying to get that warrant now. It hasn't been easy, but that right there in itself may reverse this whole thing and give you a new trial. I don't know. Justice is in no hurry once they have you locked up to try to rectify any wrongs that they do to anybody. And I'm not the only one. I've talked to a lot of really good men in here that
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
have been forced to take plea deals because they've been threatened with long 40 or 50-year terms. And they've had the fear put into them, so they take terms of 10, 20, 30 years instead of taking a 40 or 50-year term. And plus, once you get in here too, the cost of defending yourself and the knowledge, it's hard to learn everything you need to do when the process is so confusing. When it comes to doing everything pro se or filing habeas corpus or anything, the time limits that you have put upon you to get these done makes everything difficult. I'm sorry, I got off.
No, you're good.
Well, is there anything else? Any other questions?
So, what is that? Is there an extended cut of the body cam footage when they said the warrant was? Wait, I gotta get the rest of it. When the warrant was, yeah.
I don't have it. In fact, I am blessed that I don't even know how I got that. It was all a discovery from the prosecutor that was sent to her. So the prosecutor sent it to my trial attorney, and I told my trial attorney to look into it before we went to trial. I assume either she thought it was no big deal or she had other things she thought were more important.
Yeah.
But it never did get looked into before the trial happened. And now that I'm finally able to look into this stuff on my own, that's one of the first things I want to look into because that clip is only about 10 seconds long. And right when they walk into the room where the two detectives are from San Diego, the audio clicks off. So I can't hear what's being said to the San Diego detectives. But by the tone, the exasperation of the Knoxville detectives, they didn't lightly say in they used the word, F in the real form. They said this warrant, they really effed up that warrant, didn't they? And the other guy said, "Don't you think I know?" And the original guy said, "You
have 60 seconds remaining."
And the audio clicked off. So, and it's kind of suspect too that the very next day it was still where I can't even access it. And I tried to access it by writing letters to the court, and all they did was send me back to the form saying it was sealed. But if I had that, I think it could reverse the whole thing. That's a possibility. It's definitely a zone I want to try to uncover and overturn and see where it leads.
And I have that clip. I saw that, but why did they seal that warrant? I would love to know.
Well, they try to say it's because of protection of informants that they can redact informants by taking their names out of it. I don't need to know that. We can do an off-record video call with a lawyer to review the warrant. But I think it's more than just. I want to call you back.
Yeah, gotta call us back. Yeah, Mark, I'm so curious.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
I was down at the court today on something else, and went across the street to see if I could talk to Brian's attorney, and there was nobody in the office. But I thought, well, I was in the area, so I had nothing to lose. So, but nobody was there, so it's like, well, okay.
Brian was there. Mark was there today. He tried to handle that for him today, and nobody was there. He couldn't get it handled today.
Incarcerated individual at the correctional training.
That's what Mark was just saying.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this. Thank you for using Global Koehl.
Yeah, Brian, did you get that?
Wait a minute, Brian?
No, I got cut off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was downtown today on another matter. I was at the courthouse. I went across the street to see if I can get in touch with your trial attorney. There's nobody in the office. So, the way the court explained it is that your trial attorney or you have to be there to get a copy of this or whatever in this sealed envelope, and that's all there is to it. And that's the way it was explained to me. So.
So there can't be any attorney representing me. It has to be the trial attorney.
Yeah, it's got to be your trial attorney. Period. Or you. That's it. And that's the way the clerks explained it to me.
I don't think.
And
I don't think they're gonna let me go get it personally.
Well, I told him. I said, look, he's not around. He's in Soledad. He's locked up.
Right.
I said, okay. Well, then I said, well, can I get a copy? I said, no, it's got to be your trial attorney. I said, okay, fine.
So if
that's the bottom line.
Right, even with Brian giving you permission, they won't let you do it, right? Not with an email or no.
I don't have permission. I was just going down there
right
just the other day because with my own initiative.
Right.
Saying, hey, can I see the case file? Yeah, sure. Hey, can I get a copy of that? No, it's sealed. All right. Well, who can see it? So, well, Brian can, and his defense attorney. That's it. So,
right.
Okay. Fine.
Well, I asked them, and they denied me.
Probably because you weren't there, and they need proof that it's you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they probably do. They need proof that it's you. True.
They need proof that it's you, and you sent them a letter, and I saw the letter, and that was in June, so it's been almost 4 months, and the way it was explained to me was they need proof. Okay, who is this person I'm going to give a copy of this to?
Right.
Apparently, they're not going to believe, your letter that, hey, this is Brian Koehl.
Right.
I would like a copy of this.
Right, Vince.
So I guess they're not going to. I guess they're not going to believe that. I would assume maybe they would, respond and say, hey, we're not going to mail you a copy because we need proof that it's actually you. I tried to explain to him. I said, you see this return address? He's actually in prison.
Right.
And he's in Soledad, which is about 500 miles north of San Diego. So he's not going to be able to come down here and get it himself. And they were aware of that. And I said, well, but it's the government. That's the way the government works sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. So Mark, Liz said thank you for going to the courthouse to do that.
Oh, well,
Liz said thank you.
It's not a big deal, but I was just curious, myself when somebody mentioned this was sealed, and it's like, well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down there to see what I could find in the case file, and yeah, I mean, when they say it's sealed, and they're only going to allow certain people to take a look at it. And the only two people that they mentioned to me are Brian and his defense attorney. So,
well, if somebody knows anything different of a way of getting access to motion filed, or I know they seal them because of confidential informant information and stuff like that. But, or police who investigated the case, they protect their identity and whatnot. But they can redact all that. It seems like I should have a right to it for my appeal and for my habeas.
I agree, but they have to. I think the point they're trying to make, and this is very frustrating, it's like the point they're trying to make is that they'll give it to you, but they want to make sure it's you.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, he is locked up in a state prison.
Right.
So he can't show up to pick up a copy, which is so stupid.
Right.
But this is like I said, this is the government, okay? And they do things that make absolutely no sense. What they could do is, verify that yes, Brian Koehl is in Soledad, and this is his, and send you a copy, or verify, or call you, or send you a letter and say, here's a sworn affidavit, sign this and do this and send it back to us, and then maybe they'll send you a copy. But apparently, they're not going to do that. I don't know.
Right.
But it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the two things I think are wrong with that warrant, just based on my studies, and I'm not a lawyer, but I have studied the fact that a California judge, Robert O'Neill, is the one that issued the warrant, and we have that in discovery with the California warrant number, that when they get to Tennessee to arrest me, they have to have a Tennessee judge or magistrate look at the affidavit, look at the probable cause, and issue a warrant for my DNA fingerprint. They can't get it with a California warrant. It has to be reissued by a Tennessee judge, and I don't think that happens. Otherwise, in my discovery, I would have a Tennessee warrant number in there, proving by the prosecutor and the DA that they followed everything to the letter. And the only evidence we have of any warrant is the one warrant where the California judge authorized it. So if it's not for the DNA and the fingerprint, it could be because in 2018 there's a new law under United States versus Carpenter that you have to have a CSLI warrant in order to track my cell phone to follow me around to collect my surreptitious DNA. And I don't believe the NCIS agent who was following me around back in July of 2021 knew where I was without tracking my cell phone, because I was 19 miles apart different times of the day when they collected my surreptitious DNA. And a lot of law people didn't even realize that in 2018 that was a law that had to be adhered to. That's why if you look into a lot of the cases that are being overturned, a lot of them are happening in 2023, 2024, and 2025. And you're seeing a lot of CSLI cases being overturned off of that violation alone. So, in my opinion, again, I could be wrong, it's either the DNA fingerprint warrant not being done by a Tennessee judge, or it's a PSLI warrant not being issued back the year prior. That's the only thing I can think about why the warrant would be messed up personally.
Okay. Mark, I have a question from Liz.
Yeah.
Mark, why do you support Brian?
Well, I support Brian because of his family. I think his family and friends, I was very impressed with them. They're good people. Like I said at the outset, these are very good people. They're law-abiding citizens, tax-paying people who are deep down inside good people. And I've worked other cases, and I can't say that about some of the other cases I've worked. But in this particular case, everybody I met, everybody I came in contact with, Brian's friends, everybody that I talked to, friends and family, coworkers, guys that he served in the Navy with, and so on and so forth. Everybody spoke very highly of him. And when I got actually a chance to meet these people up close and personal, it confirmed what I already knew. That these people were upstanding citizens, and they were nice. They were sincere, and just good people. And so that's one of the reasons. And in a case like this, it's tough because somebody died, and that's too bad. However, Larry Breen, he brought this on himself, okay, as a result of the way he lived his life and the kind of person he was. So, yeah, I mean, it's too bad, but he was asking for it, okay? That's the bottom line. And he's a predator, and I don't have much sympathy for sexual predators, okay? And I don't care who they are, but this guy was one of them. And he was, and I talked to other people who served on the ship with him. And this one guy in particular, and Brian knows who I'm talking about, said, "Hey, Larry, you're playing with fire, so just be careful," because he knew what Larry Breen was doing. He's picking up strangers on the street and doing this. He was very, very reckless. Okay, that's the point. And it's hard to feel sorry for somebody who is that reckless, irresponsible, and that negligent, especially in the U.S. military. And when something bad happens to him, you think, well, how much sympathy can you have for him? But I do have a hell of a lot of sympathy for Brian's family and friends, because unfortunately their loved one met up with this sexual predator named Larry Breen, and we're talking about 35 years later. That's why.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see in the comments about Liz getting the power of attorney, but aren't you a distance away? Because why don't we wait for see if we can get the attorney? Because isn't that...
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. We're hoping Alicia can get that warrant. It's been about 2 weeks now. We're waiting for her to get it. I know she's dealing with other cases, and of course, I don't want to be pushy. I respect her time and whatnot, but I'm hoping, she works right across from the courthouse,
right?
That she can get in there and file the proper paperwork in a matter of no time and get that paperwork and.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You don't want to be pushy, but we got to be pushy.
exactly.
Right.
I know. I couldn't agree more. I'm just trying to be delicate, and
I know.
at the same time, I'm very grateful for anybody and everybody that's helping me. I'm blessed to have everybody out there.
Because they're saying, because like Liz has power of attorney, but that would be such a distance for Liz and travel expense. And so we got to see if we can get the attorney to do it first before we, and even if that, and I could reach out to attorneys I know here also, but let's see if we could get, is it Alicia, right? Your attorney to do this first.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if we can get her to do it first.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I think everyone agrees with that. We'll try that first.
Yeah. It would be kind of nice to see what's in this envelope.
I know.
You
should be jumping on that.
I'm curious about it.
I know. Like, it's sealed for a reason.
Right. I did think of another thing real quick that's very important.
And Brian has a right to know.
60 seconds remaining.
Right? Brian has a right to know why.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to get cut off here in about 45 seconds so I can call back.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the knife
call
that was planted 34 days after they investigated the crime scene. A knife showed up mysteriously 34 days later with no chain of custody forms, nothing. Nobody knew where the knife came from, but the lead detective turned it in against my case. And no paper trail, nothing. It apparently has been floating around his trunk for 34 days. And then the DA tried to act like that wasn't the murder weapon, and she brought that up in front of the jury to paint me as a liar when they didn't follow the proper procedural etiquette.
Right.
And then she used it in her closing argument also.
Wow.
As not being the weapon, and that so that was frustrating in itself, that speculation.
Call back. So, Mark, is it, or maybe Liz could try, is it she isn't responding, or what's going on with the attorney?
Good question.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that part.
I knocked on her door this afternoon, and she wasn't in, so it's like, oh, okay. I understand, you got other cases, you got work to do, you got a life.
But,
but I just figured I'd do a drop in,
right,
and see, what I could find. You want to be patient, but it's like, look, you're right across the street, so it's not like, it's a real heavy lift.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go across the street, ID yourself, say, look, can I get a copy of this? Yeah, sure. All right. What is so difficult about that?
True.
I don't know. That's why I went over there myself today after my
This is Global Cal-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Brian Koehl.
An incarcerated individual at the Correctional Training Facility, Soledad, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid
I agree,
call.
Jen.
You will not be charged for this call. To accept. Thank you for using
I'll talk to Brian also, and if he gives me the okay, I'll get on it if Brian's okay. Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Yes, I'm back. I just called back in.
Okay. So, yeah, I hear you. If Brian gives me the okay, and we can get on it too to get this, if we can try.
Okay.
We could reach out too and try to help them to work on this. I already have people reaching out to me.
Yeah.
Trusted people.
Okay.
And like I say, it's no big deal for me. I mean, I live in San Diego, so.
And of course, I would be in touch with Mark to help me.
you gotta get the clerk's office to sign off.
Right.
On actually doing it.
Yeah. Right.
these are clerks, and they look at this envelope and it says sealed. Okay, well, it means what it says. Okay, and they're not going to give that
to just anybody. Right, exactly.
They're going to give that, according to them, to either Brian's defense attorney or to Brian.
Right.
So, period. That's it. At least right now.
Right. Well, and that's what I mean by trying to reach out to her to get her to, like, let's get her moving, you know?
Well, you would think if there was any sort of discrepancies or whatever, this would have been looked at, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not, the legal expert, but if for no other reason, I would, as an attorney, would want to look at this and say, hey, wait a minute, let's, because nobody's perfect, okay?
Right.
Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. So let's, maybe give this another look, give it a fresh set of eyes, and say, okay, so, here's what happened, and here's what should have happened, or whatever. So, I would love to take a look at it myself, but I unfortunately don't have access to it, and I tried.
I know.
But that's the way the system is.
Katie, not right now. He can't because he used all his money that he had for the attorney, for his legal represent. He doesn't really have anything right now.
Yeah, I had to pay for private attorney and psychologist and investigators and DNA, and it was. Then I was out of work for the couple year and a half while I was fighting this. I did want to bring up one other fact too that I think is very relevant. Of course, the DA was very hateful through the whole trial. I think it's because people don't realize. When I got arrested and taken to California, I was being charged with capital murder, and my attorney and everybody, Alicia, said, you're not getting out on bond. If you do, it'll be $3 million, $2 to $3 million, and even then, they're not going to let you leave California and go back to Tennessee while you're fighting the case. So I kind of resigned myself to the fact that that's not going to happen.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Well, when I went to my bond hearing in San Diego, not only did Judge Haggerty, who's retired, read all 40 character letters about who I am as a person, the fact that I had no criminal record. The DA asked for a couple $1 million in bond. Alicia asked for $500,000, and the judge granted the $500,000 bond. At 7%, $30,000. I was able to go home for a year and a half and fight this case with no ankle monitor. So if I was such a dangerous person, why was I allowed to leave California, go home for a year and a half unsupervised,
right,
and to fight this case? And then the DA tried to, during the whole trial, call me a liar that I'm making this story up to get out of this and to protect myself, and that I'm a liar. Well, in 1994, we have a witness who went to the police, Joan Jones, who is the wife of my best friend at the time in high school. She went to the police and made a police statement on her own because they were divorced at the time, and said the same exact thing I told my trial attorney when I was stuck in San Diego before I even read the discovery, knowing that she'd even made this statement. I hadn't even got the prosecutor discovery yet. So I told my trial attorney I woke up nude and I was fighting for I tried to get to the door and he's blocking the door with a knife. And Joan made the same statement in 1994 to the police that I woke up nude, tried to go to the front door to get out, and that Larry had blocked the door with a knife. He said the same thing, but the judge and the DA said it was hearsay, even though it was a sworn police statement. And, of course, the jury never got to hear that. Then where did Joan hear that from? She heard it from Doug, my friend at the time, who I confided in. The thing is, I only told a couple people after all this happened. I told my older sister, Regina, I told my dad, and I told Doug. But here's the thing. I never told them all the embarrassing details exactly what happened, because what at the time 20 or 21-year-old man is going to tell his male friend all the particulars of what happened to him in detail. I didn't tell him the particulars. That's why he didn't know all the particulars. But he did know that the guy blocked the door with a knife because he told his ex-wife that. He knew I was fighting for my life, and it never got to be heard by the jury.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's...
Like I said, I know as a 19-year-old kid, I shouldn't have been drinking alcohol. I shouldn't, but I was away from home for the first time from an oppressive childhood.
Yeah.
Finally on my own for the first time, decided to be going to Navy dive school to be a Navy diver. And to be finally on my own with no curfew, no father telling me when to be home or what I could or couldn't do. And I was drinking and letting my guard down and trusting people. And
you were being a normal 19-year-old kid. You were being a normal 19-year-old kid.
I
was.
And unfortunately, he ran into a sexual predator who was looking for prey.
Exactly.
And people need to understand this. He enjoyed the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
And Brian was another conquest. And Brian turned Larry Breen on a lot, very much. Otherwise, he would have he may have not have ever put himself in this sort of a position.
Right.
But the fact is, Larry Breen wanted Brian very much, and when I mean want, and I mean in a sexual way.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before. If Brian was a woman, Brian would be considered a hero. Okay? Yes. Is there a double standard? Yes, of course there is. Okay? But that's life. And that's what happened.
Right.
And that's Larry Breen. And I think Larry Breen is he wanted something very badly, and I think Brian was worth the risk. This guy was almost twice the legal limit as far as intoxication goes. Twice. So he's already mentally ill. So you throw
This call and your
the
telephone
fact that
number will be monitored and
he's
recorded.
intoxicated.
Yeah.
That's sort of adds to that craziness, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And so much older,
well,
absolutely.
I remember the DA went to the media and made some comments, which I thought was they were all basically lies and manipulations. He told the media that his sisters had said they were surprised that Larry even joined the military or the Navy because he's such a gentle, kind man. When I heard from my attorney, the reason they didn't say that. What they said was they were surprised he joined the military in 1990 because he was gay, and in 1990 it was illegal to be gay in the military. So that's the truth of what was said and why they were surprised he joined the military. But again, that was a manipulation to the media and to everybody reading these articles. I'm sure. He surprised a lot of people being, from that lifestyle joining the military because it just wasn't allowed. So that's why he had the secret life of the apartment and the things he was doing. And
he made it through. He made it through the enlistment process, and he made it. He was in almost 8 years in the military when he met Brian, and the fact that he was living this double life, this secret life of his. This is somebody who is mentally ill, very, very mentally ill. You have to, first of all, you have to conceal this. And if you're working, at a regular civilian job, nobody would care. But this is the U.S. military, for God's sakes. People don't, and most civilians don't have a clue. It's a whole other world. And most people don't get it unless they've actually been in the military or know somebody that has been in the military, what the circumstances are and what the ramifications of this sort of behavior are. And Larry Breen knew it. And this is why, and this is another reason why he, was so, he may have overreacted when Brian, rebuffed his sexual advances, because I think maybe in the back of his mind, or maybe in the front of his mind, he knew that Brian could very easily go to his command and say, hey, this guy was trying to rape me last night, and Breen knew that. So, the fact is, the district attorney's office proposed no theory as to why Brian would want to murder Larry Breen. But why would Larry Breen want to kill Brian? Well, maybe to prevent him from ruining his life. Maybe to prevent him from his being assigned to serve the President of the United States and his family at Camp David. Larry Breen was looking at this as a career. So, Brian's motive was, fairly simple. He was just defending himself. Larry Breen, what was his motive? Well, he was leaving. His whole life was a lie, and he wanted to keep that a secret. And I've said it, many times. This is a guy who is mentally ill, period. And you throw the fact that he's twice the legal limit as far as alcohol goes. You throw that on top of there, and he is he's trying to take advantage of somebody who wasn't really in his wheelhouse. He used to pick up, vagrants off the street. He used to go cruising, for prostitutes, male prostitutes. Okay, that was kind of sort of his thing. Now Brian was something different, and you have to understand the whole set of circumstances, and it's difficult to wrap your mind around this stuff. Believe me, it took me a long time. But
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
He has to. No, he'll have to call back. No, he has to call back.
I'll call back. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll call back.
Oh, okay. He's gonna call right back.
All right. And I hope I'm not belaboring this point, Mark, but
No.
it's civilians don't get it. They think, what's the big deal? Well, yeah, in the civilian world, you go home, you do your job. It's no big deal. This is the United States military. Okay, it's called. You have a security clearance. You can be, that could be compromised. There are bad actors all over the world who, try to get access to whatever it may be in the U.S. military, and especially when someone is stationed at Camp David for the president.
All right, I know.
Come on.
Oh, I know.
This is a big deal. This is a national security risk, and it just blows me away that anybody would look at Larry Breen and think that this guy is
absolutely
is a good fit. Not only in the military. I mean, he should have been kicked out a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
But to work at Camp David is mind-boggling.
Yeah. Brian, you know what? Someone mentioned that before we got cut off the last time. You were going to mention about the knife.
Yes. Yeah, basically, surprisingly, a knife was turned in by the detectives that were investigating my case from the crime scene 34 days later. Nobody knows where the knife came from.
That's crazy.
When they asked about the paper trail or the process, how it was found, where it was at, nobody knows. All they know is they did use it to turn it against my case. And then on the stand, the DA asked me, so Brian, what did you do with the knife? What did you do with the murder weapon? And I told him, I said, the knife was turned in 34 days later, apparently. And she's like, oh, we all know that wasn't the knife. She said that in front of the jury, which I don't think was proper. She said because there was no DNA found on it, or fingerprints or something. Well, first of all, we don't know what happened to it in the 34 days. Did they clean it up? Did they wash it? Did they use it on a barbecue? It floated around the back of the trunk, I heard. But nobody knows, and we can't get a clear answer on it. And then during her closing argument, she even stated that I got rid of the weapon. And I said earlier in this conversation, when we first started this phone call, that she tried to say that I wiped down evidence and I tried to clean up the crime scene when the lead detective and the arriving patrol officer both said there was no evidence of anything like that, and it's just absolutely not true. There's no sign of anything being wiped down, cleaned up, or smell of bleach or anything, but that's the story she wanted to stick with to get her narrative across. Same thing with the knife. She wanted to use the knife and try to tell the jury stuff that she doesn't even know to be fact. She doesn't know what that knife is or where it came from because the police didn't handle it properly. And then also there's a bleach bottle, apparently, that they had to repackage because on the way to the evidence lab, it leaked all over the place and went through the box and the container that they had it in. So no telling what that contaminated it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to bring that up. Mm-hmm. And then what Mark was saying, too, for him to be that bold and risk-taking, I digress, and I go back to what we talked about earlier tonight, was if he was so bold on a naval ship to walk around 20 or 30 guys completely nude, completely aroused, completely, uninhibited, poking guys and grabbing them, cuddling up next to them, commenting on their bodies, and if he'd have done that to women, it'd been sexual assault. Can you imagine a guy at a club pulling out his penis and being fully aroused and poking women with it? What would they call that?
Oh.
It's sexual assault.
Yes, they would.
And the thing is, if he was that bold to do that while sober in front of all these witnesses, what do you think he's going to do when he's a .15 and you got a 19-year-old passed out? A 19-year-old that has zero criminal record before or after that event that one night. I'm not a violent person. I don't like to hurt people. Larry, that's the last thing I wanted to happen.
Right.
I didn't want him to get hurt, but I was defending my life. I was in fear of my life, especially when he started pushing me down and he tackled me. That started the aggression off right when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask for any of it, other than just being a naive, stupid kid that was too trusting.
Right. Because, Brian, I look at it this way. It was either you or him. He wasn't going to let you out of there.
No.
He wasn't going to let you out of there.
He didn't think I was going to wake up. I tried to analyze this over and over, and I can't wrap my head around it. And the only thing I think is that he didn't think I was going to wake up.
Right.
I told my attorney that I felt drugged. I said, I felt drugged, but I can't prove it. I'm going to be honest with you on the phone. It's a 70 or 80% chance I was, but I can't prove it. I want to see if they can test the bottles now, see if there's any type of residue in there. I've been talking to lawyers about that, wannabe lawyers.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And they said it's possible to test my blood or the bottle to see if there's any residue of any type of rohypnol or GHB or something like that, because I truly think that is a high possibility. But my trial attorney told me not to bring that up. She said, well, it's been so long, don't say you think you were drugged. Just tell everybody how you felt. So that's why on the stand, I didn't say I felt drugged. I said I woke up disorientated, confused, and not sure where I was at or what was going on, because I was directed by my attorney to not say that. Looking back, I wish I would have said what was in my heart, but
right.
But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, when I woke up and how I felt was extremely different than I've ever felt before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But so everyone knows.
I know.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if there's any other questions. I know I've been talking a lot.
No, you're good.
Any questions?
No. Is there any other questions? Because we are, just so everyone who's here, this is going to continue next Thursday, because we do have other vets that are going to be joining us. We have 2 other vets that will be joining next week also. And hopefully Keith will be with us. He did have issues with the tablet, and they are supposed to have
Okay.
tablets, new tablets. They were supposed to have them tonight, but there was an issue. We love hearing your voice. Talk away, Jenny said. And I want to mention now that we're coming to the end, because we are going to have to end it soon, only because it starts to get late for everyone here. If anyone wants to, anyone in the family or friends want to come up in the box, I can take you up to say hello. I would do that. I'll make an exception tonight. If you want to come up, you could hit the request button at the bottom, the blue and pink, and I can let you up in the box. Only if you're a relative, or you can request and I'll let you up to say hi. You don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to. You don't have to do that. Liz, do you want to come up? Oh, look at this. So I will accept Jenny's. Let's see. Jenny's up here, so we'll take a few people. Hi, Jenny.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you want to speak a little louder? There you go, Brian.
Hey, cousin. Hey, we believe in you so much. Me and Chad love you, love you, love you. I'm trying to turn my camera on, but I can't figure it out.
Well, he can't see you anyway. That's the whole thing. Brian can't see anyone. He can only hear. He can only listen. Yeah.
I was telling the quick story real quick. I texted it in there, but Brian was like, all of us kids looked up to Brian so much because he was a daredevil like you have never seen in your life. Our grandparents had a farm, and I had horses. The kids looked up to Brian so much because he was a daredevil.
You're up here. If you could lower the volume because it echoes.
Grandparents had a farm.
That's all. Yeah, it's good.
He would literally swing out of the hayloft on a rope. He would jump out of the hayloft onto the back of one of the horses. That would buck him off, of course. He tied his legs and arms together, jumped in the pool because he thought he was Rambo, that he could somehow escape. Luckily, his sister Regina jumped in while we were all just watching him drowning, basically. He was just hilarious, and I love him dearly, and I'm just praying every day for you.
Well, thank you. I love you. And, me tying my hands and feet together came in handy because when I became a Navy diver, at deja vu, they tied my hands and feet together, my hands behind my back, and we were thrown in the deep end. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I didn't know that all those years ago, when I tied my hands and feet together to see if I could make it out.
That's hilarious.
Doing that in real life.
Key life skills.
I'm yeah. Well, that in 2009, I fell 38 feet out of a tree also.
Yes, we do.
Up in a tree. Yeah. So, I've done it myself over years because, yeah. Well, Jennifer, thank you for getting this call and your telephone number will be monitored.
I'll be here next week as well, Brian.
Oh, I appreciate
Thank you. Tell your mom I've been praying for her. I've been praying for her so hard. I know
I
going through.
I
I
will.
love you all.
Thank you. I will. I'll definitely tell her. I'll see her tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for coming up. And if
Right.
anyone else, I can take up to 9 people could come up. So if anyone else wants to come up.
Brian.
Liz, hi.
Brian?
Is that my beautiful wife?
That's your beautiful wife.
I love you, honey.
Oh, I love you.
And you know
Aw.
you are the strongest man that I've ever known. And everybody is behind you, and we are all here, and we all love you and believe in you, and know that somebody will come forward and help us to get the truth out, just like Marge is right tonight. And we thank you so much, Marge, for everything that you've done. And Brian, as always, honey, you have always been my lifeboat.
You're my lighthouse, baby.
I love you so much.
I'm trying hard not to cry on that.
You're okay, Brian.
Sorry.
He always tells me about you, Liz. I feel like I know you. He tells me so much about you.
Oh, that's my Brian. He's always talking.
Always talks about his wife because every time we talk, he talks about you.
Oh.
He does.
Well,
I'm in love with her.
That's what he always says. That I not only love her, I'm in love with her.
and he knows the same goes for me too. That's sweet.
I remember, Liz, when we came and we very first met you. You guys had your apartment there in Dayton, and you had a bunch of ferrets.
Yeah.
They're like ferrets everywhere, and I was like,
know.
Chad and I got married in 1994, so we've been married 31 years, and that's the first time we ever met. I remember we came over, and I forget what we did, but we did something.
gosh.
But I just remember the house with the ferrets.
I know. Oh my gosh, we had so many. We just loved their personality. They were just so happy.
Aw.
And but
I couldn't resist making her happy, so I come home from work with a new one about every week.
I know.
Yeah, there was like 6 of them.
I know. I all of a sudden I'd see something moving under his jacket, and
Here's a ferret.
and a little face peeking out.
Aw.
Yeah, it did get out of hand, but that's Brian. You know, he's just every day, always wanting to make me happy, and just always been there to save me and help me through my struggles, and when this whole time I never even knew the struggle that he was going through himself.
Right. That's unreal.
Yeah. And that's why I know he's just the strongest man, and to go through what he's gone through, and to still keep fighting, and to still even to this day, like he's always been a helper, a provider, a protector. And even now, though, in prison, he helps others all the time. He tells me these stories and I have other inmates that actually converse with me, always checking on how Brian is doing and how much he's done for them.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. It runs in the
Why
family.
don't you call
Our
right back,
family
because
is
we have
very-
somebody else up here.
Yeah, go.
So call right back. And I not only hear like from Brian, but Mark told me what an amazing family you are. Because like he said, everyone was there every day. But Mark told me also about what an amazing family.
Hey, Brian, it's Gina. I just wanted to say I love you.
Oh,
And I
Brian,
think,
Brian has to call right back.
Hold on, Gina. Hey,
He hung
Gina.
up.
hi, Jenny. Hi,
In just
Liz.
a few minutes, he'll call right back.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll be right back. Here he is. Let's get this. Okay.
This is Global Telling. You have a prepaid call from an incarcerated individual at the Correctional Training Facility, Soledad, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Here we go. And he's back.
Okay.
Hey, Brian.
Okay.
There you go, Brian.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Brian, can you hear?
It's Gina. I just wanted to real quick say that I love you, and I'm so grateful and happy for this podcast, for you to get your story out, and for you and for Mark. And George, I think this was amazing. And I will call you soon, okay? Mark, you call me. I'm in. George, I think. And I will call you soon, okay, Mark? You call me. I'm in. It's echoing.
Oh, yeah, it's echoing. Somebody's is echoing. There we go.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead. Talk again.
I just wanted to say that I'm so thankful and grateful for this opportunity for Brian to get to tell his story, and for Mark and for you, March, for allowing that and supporting him. It means a lot. And Brian, I love you. Please call me soon, okay?
Okay, thank you. Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, we're gonna get this out there. I'm gonna try my best. I have people listening. So hopefully we get it to the right people, and we get him the help that that he needs. I'm telling you, when he first called me, and we have a mutual friend, Angel from Wiley's Wishes. That's how we connected. And that's how we connected. And when I heard his story, and we've been talking for a few weeks, and his story really touched me. And I just have to get, and I do have attorneys that are listening. I have a lot of friends out there, and it's going to get to the right people. And we got to keep pushing. And my community is so strong. And you won't believe the messages I got, and the people that already, the information I already got. So we're going to get moving on this. Trust me.
I'm so blessed that you came into our life, Mark. I really am. I don't mean it lightly.
Oh,
There's a reason why. And I think Angel, too. Angel's the one that connected you and I.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, I am in the dog program. I've been in the dog program, raising and rehabilitating dogs that were from high kill shelters. They weren't supposed to make it.
Yeah.
And we take them, train them, and get them adopted. And I've had about 15 to 17 dogs now that I've saved, and I've got rescued and trained and got adopted. I've been in the program. And it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah. And go figure, I started doing this, and then my daughter actually works for Canine Companion. She's a director, and she does service dogs, and like what are the chances? But Angel's my girl. I really, she's amazing, Angel. She really is. She's a good friend, and I'm so lucky. And we never met. We just know each other from doing this, and we text, we call, and I really adore her. She's amazing.
She's got a humongous heart and a compassion to give back, not only to the dogs and horses, but to the inmates. And nothing but respect for her and for you. Mark, nothing but respect. Thank you for taking the time to get on here and tell what you know and everything. Tell Sherry I say hello. I love you both.
Yeah, okay.
And they were kind enough when I first lost my trial. It was the lowest point of my life. I didn't believe I was going to lose my trial, but I didn't know I wasn't going to be able to tell about his lifestyle. The thing is, that's what's comical, is for 32 years, the whole investigation was about his lifestyle, but when we got to trial, nothing about his lifestyle was allowed to be brought up. So that's why I thought if I took it to his trial, I'd be okay. But anyway, I lost it, and when I went to county jail with my family all the way in Tennessee, I had nobody in California to check on me. But Mark and his wife, not even really knowing me, just knowing the case, were kind enough to come visit me multiple times in county jail. Spend an hour with me. Get more. So,
Yeah. Mark is awesome. Mark is pretty awesome. I was laughing because when I first called Mark and I got his voicemail, I'm like, he's a private investigator. He's not going to talk to me. He's going to say, "Who's this crazy TikToker?" and we spoke numerous times. Mark's pretty awesome. He helped me understand your case.
Well, after I got past the crazy TikToker thing, I realized that Marge is not that bad.
Gee, thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Mark was like, "Marge, why do you do this?" And I'm like, "Cause I'm crazy." No, I really, and I told him, Brian, for some reason, when I spoke to Brian, your case just touched me, and it's weighing on me, and this is bothering me so much, and I can't believe the support we have tonight. Like, I do this every week, and I do it sometimes a couple times a week, and I have this is go tomorrow night, and I don't do it twice a week. Usually I do it on Thursday nights, but I'm getting so busy with this. I do have tomorrow night too at 8:30. But tonight has been so overwhelming in the comments and the amount of people. It's amazing tonight. Like, it's really awesome tonight. But you really touched me, Brian. You really have. And I talk to Brian basically on the weekends because our conversations just go and go. It's like, call me back. And yeah, it's really been amazing. And I have to get you the help you need. So next week we're going to continue this. And if it goes on to another week, we're going to continue.
I look forward to it. I really do.
Yeah.
And I want to again thank everybody out there that has taken their time out of their life to get on here and hear this. And
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And not to cut you off, but Liz, so if you know, so my mods in the chat, Lauren, you saw her in there, Katie and Cindy, they helped me I couldn't do this without them. They are behind the scenes helping me. They watch the chat. They are getting information for me too. And I noticed they were talking to you in here, so they helped me along with everyone else who support me. But they are my mods, and I couldn't run this chat without them. Katie does all the commercials for me. Lauren is my right-hand person. When Brian was first speaking and I got teary-eyed, Lauren was messaging me and she's like, breathe, because she knows I don't breathe during some of it. And she's like, get yourself together and breathe. So, and Cindy's always there. So they're my three mods and they really help me. So they're really amazing. So you might hear from them, Liz, and I think they followed you. So just in case, so you know who they are.
thank you so much for that. I hope it was still on there to hear you.
Oh, absolutely, Brian. But so yeah, so we are gonna end this because it is 11 o'clock here. I mean, I could go on all night. I have no problem with that, but we do have to end it. My girls do have children and they do work. So I do have to end it for them also. But we are going to pick this up with Brian tomorrow. Not tomorrow night. I have another lecture, but next Thursday at 8:30. And any of the family, and Liz, I gave you my number.
Yes,
Anyone else?
thank you, Marge.
Yeah, you could call me. Feel free anytime. But anyone else in the family, you can message me.
Thank you so much.
Marge,
Okay.
thank you to all of you and your family for your support and help through all of this.
Thank you. No problem. You're welcome.
I love you, Brian.
We love you, Brian.
I love all of you. I do. Thank you for being there, and hopefully we'll be back together again soon.
That's right. You will.
The kids say they love you.
Aw.
I love them too. I love everybody. Everybody be strong, okay?
You be strong too. Stay safe.
That's right.
I will.
All right,
Love
Brian.
you.
I'll talk to you a little bit later. I'll message you, Brian.
Okay,
All
good
right.
night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
All right,
Brian.
Mark. I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, Marge.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah, thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
All right. Me too. All right. Good night, Mark.
Good night.
Bye. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you. So everyone in the chat, I really appreciate you. It was amazing. Brian did good. I know he was nervous. He really was. And Vince, thank you in the chat. I love your name. I love your name. That's my husband's name, was my son's name, my grandson's name. Vince runs in the family, my father-in-law's name. Great name, Vince. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate you. So everyone, we're going to end it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to my mods for everything you do. I couldn't do this without you. I'm going to head over to the other app real quick to say goodnight. I have the other app. It's Favorite It. We are going to end it there. We always go over to that app to say goodnight. If you have that app, you're welcome to join us. I'm just going to hop over there to just say goodnight to my mods, and we just chat real quick. If not, I will see everyone tomorrow. I will see you at probably 2:30 tomorrow. And we also have a live tomorrow night with Josh and John from Donovan State Prison. We will be finishing up our live with them. So everyone have a good night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for everything. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.